Hi, my name is Donald, and for the two people I interviewed for this assignment, they are my father and my friend Ramon. My father's family immigrated here from Vietnam one generation ago, and my friend Ramon's family immigrated here from Puerto Rico one generation ago. My father is Vietnamese, and my friend Ramon is Puerto Rican. My father affiliates with Buddhism, while my friend Ramon affiliates with Catholicism. So foods that are symbolic to the Vietnamese culture are pho, which is a beef noodle soup, fried rice, bánh xèo, which is a Vietnamese rice pancake, canh chua, which is literally translated to sour soup. These are all of the regional foods where my father grew up in Vietnam. Staple foods Vietnamese culture uses are rice, cilantro, lime, basil, and rice noodles. For Puerto Rican culture, foods that are indicative or symbolic of their culture are plantains, rice, pork, coconut, red kidney beans, bacalao, which is codfish, aguacate, which is avocado, rum, and for breakfast they always have coffee with cream and fresh bread. The main cooking ingredients for Vietnamese culture includes garlic, fish sauce, bean sprouts, green onions, soy sauce, and any type of meat. The main cooking ingredients or flavor principles for Puerto Rican culture are sazon, cilantro, cumin, annatto, and chicken broth. My father eats 3 meals a day, and Ramon typically eats 2 to 3 meals a day. For Vietnamese culture, the food items needed to make a meal consist of rice, meat, a soup, or salad. For Puerto Rican culture, the food items necessary to make a meal are meat, a type of starch, vegetables, and fruit for dessert. So the major holidays my father's family celebrates each year are the Lunar New Year, the Moon Festival, and due to being in America, he also celebrates Thanksgiving and Christmas. For Ramon's, he celebrates Christmas, Three Wise Men, Easter, and Christopher Columbus Day. Most of these holidays are celebrated due to religion of the Puerto Rican culture, and for Christopher Columbus Day, it's because Christopher Columbus was the one who discovered Puerto Rico. During the cultural holidays of the Vietnamese, special foods that are typically prepared include Vietnamese braised pork with eggs, mooncakes during the Moon Festival, Vietnamese rice cakes, fried rice, and a type of Vietnamese rice cake that's savory and steamed. And during the Lunar New Year, there's also special types of dried candied fruits, and typically small leeks are prepared with any cultural holiday for the Vietnamese. For Puerto Rican culture, during the cultural holidays, the special foods that are typically prepared include pernil, which is a type of pork roast, rice and pigeon peas, also known as arroz con gandules, and fried green plantains, known as tostones, and also rice with condensed milk and raisins, a dessert typically known as arroz con dulce. For my father, the outside influences that impact the consumption of his cultural foods are that mostly during the cultural holidays, the prices are raised on certain food items because the markets know the people of our culture and they know they will be purchasing these goods in large quantities to prepare for the celebrations. Also, what affects his consumption is the seasons of the year because certain cultural vegetables only grow at certain times of the year. You can still find the vegetables in the stores year round, but they wouldn't be as lush or big or ripe. For Ramon, the outside influences that impact the consumption of his Puerto Rican cultural foods is the availability of the foods in the first place because they don't sell many of his native food here in the US, and even if they did, the price of the native food of Puerto Rican culture in the US is typically a little more expensive. And also what affects his consumption is his social activities due to his social circle having certain preferences for certain types of food. Most of the time being that it's not his Puerto Rican cultural food. Symbolic meanings of food to Vietnamese culture include things such as how beef is known as a luxury, as most of the time in Vietnamese culture they only eat fish or chicken. Kumquats in Vietnamese culture are also known to be a luxury item as well as a religious fruit associated with Buddhism. For Puerto Rican culture, strawberries and kiwis and important fruits signify wealth because typically in Puerto Rico only the wealthy can afford such items. So if you walk into a house and you see imported fruit on the table, then you know that family has a lot of money. For my father, the American culture has not influenced his cultural habits and traditions by much due to him being an immigrant. He still retains a lot of his own native cultural identity. For Ramon, he also has not let American culture change him very much because he still practices culture as much as he can, but he also states that American culture had already changed Puerto Rican culture years ago because American culture had brought itself over to Puerto Rico. Ramon also states that his culture is still evolving, but most of the large dramatic influence have happened to his past generations and not currently. My father believes Vietnamese culture has made some impact on American culture, especially in the Bay Area. In particular, pho is more known now than it has been in the past. On a cold night, many people consider this food as an option to warm themselves up. During the Lunar New Year festival, there is a lot of other cultures joining theirs in celebration in terms of the food, the festivals, and the gambling that happens during Lunar New Year. For Puerto Rico, they have a rich culture in New York City and celebrate Puerto Rican Day there. Ramon also says that their culture has spread through music, as evident by the music of celebrities such as Jennifer Lopez incorporating things such as salsa and reggaeton in her music. And that concludes my interview and observations.